23.
Hey, there we go.
The return of the Matt.
Hey.
I would love to come back.
Woo.
Let's go live.
You mean come back in this game, you mean?
Mm-hmm.
What a pass. Wow, he switched hands midair. Wow. That's athleticism.
That was a good pass, too, from Rook. God.
Yes, it was. Wow. He switched hands mid. Wow. He's 7 feet tall. He did. He had it in the left. And the guy kind of swiped that, and he switched it to the right while he was in the air.
God, Gafford.
Yeah, man, what's up? Yes, we can say defensive collapse.
Defensive collapse. I said it.
Say it 5 times fast.
Oh, look who it is. It's Weston. It's our hero.
Yo, Weston is the godfather.
Weston.
I don't know if you guys noticed, but I officially named this stream for the first time the Bulls Outcasts.
I mean,
hey.
Weston, you have no idea how much we owe you. You are smarter than all of us.
When it's safe, we owe you so many hugs.
A ton of them.
Guys,
ton of hugs.
I felt so great about this game for the first 8 minutes, and then I felt less great.
I felt good. I still feel good, only because I'm seeing what I wanted to see. But of course, yeah. When they went on that 10-minute drought,
right?
that wasn't fun.
I guess if we were told that tonight was going to go poorly overall, but that there would be 1 or 2 silver linings, and those 1 or 2 silver linings would be Lowry and Wendell, I'd be like, okay, I'm cool with that.
Yeah. I'm very cool with that.
It's so funny. We're getting smoked, but I don't feel as the. I think because I like Lowry. Like Lowry saved it for me.
Yeah.
He had a good game.
Yeah. Seeing him have that good game made it better. Maybe that's I think you hit it on the head, John. That's probably why I feel okay. Because I saw what I kind of wanted to see from the player I needed to see it from.
So far, every starter in the preseason has shown out except for one.
Or Kobe, Zach. Well, Wendell. Yep.
Mm-hmm. It feels good.
Yeah.
I mean, I hate. He's 1 for 16. It's now gotten to the point where I don't ever want him. When he shoots it, I'm like, come on, baby.
I mean, I will say this about Wendell tonight, though. Yes, he's continuing to struggle from the 3-point line, and it's driving me crazy. And I'm trying to keep my faith there. Other than that, he's had a solid game. He's scored inside. He had that awesome fucking lob pass to Lowry. He's got 6 assists tonight. Wendell has 6 assists. If we can get that element of Wendell's game, a passing big in Billy Donovan's offense, better than nothing.
Yes, 6 assists for a center is great.
It is.
But also, he's not a starter.
Thank you, John. I've been thinking
he's the smallest center in the league.
I'll say this. I haven't seen anything yet to show me that he has to start. It hasn't been solidified for me that this dude has to be the starting center. We got to have him starting. I just haven't seen it yet, and I want to see it. I'm looking for it, but I haven't. I've seen it from Laurie. I've seen it from Kobe. I've seen it from Zach, and I've seen it from Patrick Williams. But I haven't seen it from him to be I got to be your starting center.
Weston said, I thought today was going to be perfect. Amazing Mandalorian finale. No spoilers. I haven't watched it yet.
No spoilers.
Had some Chinese, and then this game happens. Plus some Goose Island Christmas IPA. Okay.
Yeah.
We need to talk about that.
Right. Yeah.
The Goose Christmas IPA is solid, but As a diehard Goose Island fan, my parents actually used to own stock in Goose Island, like right when they started.
Dude, you are so Chicago. It is insane.
I know, right? But before they got bought out by Anheuser-Busch, when Goose Island was still independent, my parents owned stock in the company. And my dad's beer fridge in the basement, our entire childhood was just stocked with Goose Island, primarily Honker's Ale, the OG Goose Island. They used to make a Christmas ale, not a Christmas IPA, but a Christmas ale that was one of the best Christmas beers I've ever had in my life. And they discontinued it when they got bought out, and it breaks my heart to this very day.
That's so. So I bought, and I don't drink beer, and I don't know much about beer. But my wife last night wanted an IPA, so I went to the grocery store to I this is how much I don't know, but I was looking for an IPA, and I go, "Oh, that says Indian Pale Ale. No, I need an IPA." Today, and I was like, "Wait a minute, what does IPA stand?" I was like, "India."
PC low letter.
But that's how little I buy beer. That graphic of the Oklahoma City
Oklahoma 3-point shooters
is class warfare. Of the first round picks they have. It is class warfare. It's Nancy Pelosi getting the vaccine before everyone. It makes me so mad in a way that is into my bones.
Even worse than that, I was just talking to my roommate at halftime about seeing Pence and his wife getting the vaccine.
Yeah.
I'm the leader of the coronavirus task force while we're all largely telling you that this pandemic is a hoax and it's made up and, inject bleach into your veins. But here we are first in line to get the fucking vaccine.
That guy was governor of the state that had the only 21st century AIDS outbreak in America. Right. We put him in charge of this.
But John,
AIDS.
He also believes if you pray hard enough, you can pray the gay away. So,
Dude, I wonder if he really believes that, or if he's just like, well, we need to get rid of it somehow. Like, I wonder if he really believes if you pray, or if he's just like, I can't think of anything else.
I got to do something.
Ooh, Weston, I do have the bourbon stout. Ooh, bourbon stout. See, I'm drinking bourbon, no stout, skinny.
On the
rock. On the rock. On the one big rock. Right. You also.
Oh, that means it's a legit one. Yeah. You got the legit ice cube.
Ice cube.
Yeah. Okay.
Not iced tea.
Yeah.
Ryan said he got the vaccine last night. Feel great today. Congratulations.
Do you feel good?
Well, first of all, who are you? First of all,
are you a frontline worker?
He has to be.
So,
he
has to be.
Seriously.
My wife got it yesterday, and she's sick as a dog right now. So I'm curious. We were curious if it has something to do with the vaccine. She's out for the count.
Wow.
But she got it.
When you say sick, you mean like vomiting? Or
it's like a flu with no fever. I mean, she's like, I haven't seen her this sick in a long time.
Wow. Oh man.
And she's burning, she's sweating, and we're like, is this the vaccine? So Ryan, let us know.
He says he's a firefighter medic outside.
Dude, you're awesome.
Goodness.
Dude, you're awesome.
Thank you for your service, Ryan.
I was on an episode of Chicago Fire, so we're kind of the same. I had one scene.
I remember when you showed us that scene.
I was one scene. It was very bad in it. So we're like, I kind of get what it's like. I do not. I'm joking. You're a hero. You're amazing. I'm glad you got
it. Oh man, they're
going to come back. They're going to come back, guys. Kobe White's going to start hitting it.
Dude, will this finally be the that hurts. The revenge of when we coughed up a 26-point lead to them last season, and I pulled all of my hair out.
You know why? Because Justin Jackson is in, and he is trash.
Sorry, Miss Jackson.
It was Isaiah Roby and Jackson, two former Mavs that we had. That's so funny.
You say Justin Jackson, and my brain immediately went to the famous Jet Jackson.
Yep, that's what I don't blame you. He's more famous. Justin Jackson. He misses baskets you physically can't miss in a way that it's kind of impressive. If you watch him out, you're kind of like, how did you? That's respect, man. Respect. You're like, it was a layup. No one was around you. How'd you miss it?
Dude,
I made a mistake of walking into a record store yesterday. I spent more than I was expecting and had to leave. Otherwise, I was definitely going broke. This is from Weston. Yeah, what did you get?
Did you get
I'm
vinyl?
very curious.
Also, I feel like this is a good time to point out that the tips on Hot Mic are non-refundable.
Big Dave, you said you did your best albums of the year, right? Hip hop albums.
Yeah, I did the top 25 hip hop albums of 2020. Podcast will be up when I finish editing it. It's always my most. It's always the biggest project of our podcast when I edit that one because there's so much going on.
What album this year surprised you the most about how high it was ranked?
Ooh, that's a good question. I was surprised that Logic made my list because I'm usually not really high on Logic, but it was good. Thank you, Book Jones, for the tip. By the way.
Book Jones.
Oh my gosh, thank you,
Book Jones. Yeah, I was surprised he was there. This artist named Quelle Chris, who's a really good artist from Detroit. I was surprised at how high he was. Yeah, there was some surprises and disappointment. I always make the list and I just put it out because I want people to kind of hate it. Because I don't want anybody to like agree like, oh, this is 100% correct. Because I don't think you can learn like that. So I'm like, I want you to hate it and debate it and then go listen to one of them and make up your own mind. Make up your own list. You know what I'm saying?
I love that. And anything that's a list is gonna piss people off, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my God,
like,
guys, look who's in.
Luke!
It's Luke Cornett and his Cornets.
Oh my God, he doesn't have Luke Corvette.
Weston says there was a Sum 41 album that was $137.
Was it
what?
A Sum 41 album, bro? Like
what was their one hit wonder on the radio in the 90s?
They had two, right?
They had two hits, yeah. I can't remember the name.
The album was Fat Lip, I believe. I don't even own it. It was hanging out.
Not to be confused with the Limp Bizkit song that had the lyrics about a fat lip in it.
Yeah, no, it was In Too Deep was their big hit.
Which was, I believe, on the American Pie soundtrack.
It was.
That is so
and that wasn't even their biggest hit. That was their second hit.
Ryan said all killer, no filler. Is that a Sum 41 thing?
That's the album.
That was the album.
Was the song.
That was the album.
All killer, no filler. There it is.
Fat Lip's the song. Yeah.
Great work, team. That's
good job, Ryan.
That's what it was. And he dated Avril Lavigne first. Oh, Arch.
Wait, was he the skater boy that motivated the song Skater Boy?
Let's just say yes.
It looks like he's part of the skating community.
Oh, wow. Evan Davis says, you inspired me to start my own Bulls podcast, the Bull Overtime. And so he tipped us.
Hey,
thank you very much.
I can't wait. We'll subscribe to it. I can't wait to check that out.
Yes.
And anything with overtime.
There's always room for more in the Bulls podcast family. I think the count is somewhere in the thousands now.
Yes. It was not there when I started. It definitely was in the single digits when I first started.
Oh, Gustavo says Third Eye Blind greater than Sum 41. Completely agree.
Yeah.
Third Eye Blind is one of my guiltiest of guilty pleasures.
It's not guilty. Not guilty.
It's not guilty. Yeah, that's seriously.
And also, they're not even the same phylum. Like Third Eye Blind is Wallflowers, Matchbox 20, like late 90s pop rock. Sum 41 is like Stroke 9, Eve 6.
Right.
Different genre. Your number California rocks, where you have to have a number and a name.
But everybody in our age group growing up listened to, like the Third Eye Blind self-titled album, Semi-Charmed Life, and Jumper. I followed the entirety of Third Eye Blind.
The Blue album, right? The second
catalog. The Blue album, Out of the Vein, Ursa Major. I am like low-key white boy obsessed with Third Eye Blind.
So when they came out of the,
what's up, buddy?
I would have thought that Wallflowers were going to reign supreme over the Third Eye Blind, Matchbox 20, and the fact that Matchbox 20 came out on top that was the. I did not.
Isn't that a surprise?
So surprising. Now, how much of that is Santana?
Dude, a lot of that is Santana. And a lot. I mean, I think it's just even before that, just Rob Thomas's look.
Same
I thought it was just his look.
from you.
I mean,
Yeah,
you got to love it. Be so smooth. Give me what
your heart, make it real. Or else forget about it.
I got to meet Rob Thomas 2 years ago, and
wait, hold on, what?
And he is truly at my Mount Rushmore. Like, there's only one more person to meet, and then I die. Like
what?
It's Stamos, Rob Thomas, Luca. If I meet Jeff Hardy, I'm gone. Like, that's it. I'm done.
Okay.
And he was the nicest. We talked for like 20 minutes, 25 minutes, and he was like truly the most nicest person ever, Rob Thomas. And I was like, this is. I met him backstage of his concert, right after he did a concert in Tinley. My friend is dating the guitarist, Kyle.
Who else was there?
It was Counting Crows, and so I met him too. But they weren't feeling it. It was a bad night for them. You could tell, and like so, Matchbox 20 had just like gotten back together after a hiatus, so they were just like loving it. You know, like they were like they were just like performing. You know, their hits.
Yeah.
And Counting Crows was kind of just like, I can't wait to go home. They were.
And see Mr. Jones?
He sang Mr. Jones.
Weston said, Rumors by Fleetwood Mac. God tier album, proud to own on vinyl now.
Yes.
That
is
a great addition to the vinyl inventory.
Absolutely.
That's a top 20 album of all time, right?
Agreed. I won't argue that.
Ryan said Counting Crows was my most disappointing show.
Yes.
I don't think I ever saw Counting Crows live. I mean, their albums are amazing.
I agree. I would agree with you. It wasn't a show, and like the live versions feel like covers, because like it's that all their songs are super well produced. Like it's not the same.
Speaking of '90s nostalgia, do you know whose favorite band is Counting Crows?
Oh.
Sean Hunter from Boy Meets World.
Ryder Strong.
I mean, not the actor, but the character Sean Hunter.
Good for him.
His favorite band is Boy Meets World.
He didn't really have a dad.
His favorite band is Counting Crows.
He almost joined a cult. He did almost
join the cult. His teacher adopted him. That's love.
The cult episode, Mr. Turner got in that bike accident trying to save him. Spoiler, sorry.
Yeah. Spoiler of that family sitcom from the 90s.
The guy who was the cult leader, Jerry Levine, is in like one of those actors who's in everything. Like he was the guy who ordered the pen for Elaine Bennis that one episode.
Right. Yeah.
He was in a show called Going Places with Heather Locklear. Like these guys are like my favorite. You're like, didn't make it, but they're in everything. Like Jason Bateman was going to be that guy until Arrested Development happened. Woo! Guys, we're gonna come back. This is a comeback. All right, we got to focus.
Marlon said that's what I come for. Boy Meets World trivia. The Bulls talk is just icing.
I know. We're dissecting the center episode of Boy Meets World and missing the comeback.
Marlon, you don't want to know how much of that entire TV series I can quote just off the top of my head because it's gross.
Actually, kind of do.
Were you a Batman Beyond guy? Remember that? Because that was the Big Brother. He did the voice. The funny Big Brother.
Really? You mean Will Friedle?
Yeah.
He also was in a really bad, short-lived show on. I think it was also ABC because ABC picked up Boy Meets World at the tail end called City Guys. Where it was like,
that wasn't him. That wasn't him.
Yes, Dave. Yes.
I don't think it was. I don't think it was, man. Let's see.
I think that was Will Friedle.
I don't think it was, but I'll check. I know exactly.
Oh. No, I'm going to check because you guys are arguing about it, so I will settle this for you.
Ooh, meanwhile, Gustavo, one of my favorite one-hit wonders of the 90s, Saved Tonight by Eagle Eye Cherry. Dude, that whole album is great.
No, really? That was
okay.
You're thinking of Scott White. Wait.
That whole Eagle Eye Cherry album is the same song, just slightly different, but it's all listenable.
So...
And what is the actor's name? What is his name?
Will
again?
Friedle.
It's not Will Friedle. You're thinking of
Will Friedle is not in
It's
City
Scott
Guys.
White. He was in the Mighty Ducks.
It's Scott White, correct?
He looks, but it's not
What
his
am I
fault.
thinking of? He was in some other cast-off show that only lived for like a season and wasn't
And also,
good.
City Guys was on NBC. Boy Meets World was ABC.
Okay, so I thought it was ABC because I know Boy Meets World was ABC.
Yeah, so this City Guys was TNBC. It was like Hang Time. USA High, I think, did their first season on. Then they moved to USA. City Guys was so good though, and T-White, it was such a good song.
I just remember said, "What's good, my boys? Hustling as usual." I see. Yeah, hustling. Just talking about other shows that the cast members of Boy Meets World were in after that show ended.
We're doing this for luck because we're coming back. Dude, Popo is playing so funny, man.
How is it a 4-point game right now?
Ooh, murder rock.
Fade away.
Luke Cornett.
How is he? Come on, Luke.
Oh, baby.
I love how Luke Cornett had the whole offseason. He was like, I don't need to lift weights. Like he could have got me so ripped. And he was like, nah, I'm good. I'm good, man.
John, I'm not sure what your mic sitch is, but we've not that Matt saying who's got sandpaper on their hot mic.
I swear to God, it's not touching anything.
No touching. No touching.
I'm gonna tell you right now, it was right here, not touching anything. But I'll move it though, because that's very annoying. I'm gonna hold it like this. Actually, how's that?
How long until you get sick of doing
Honestly,
that?
It's not that bad. I thought guys, it's at one point. This is so fun.
Oh, the comeback!
Jimmy Sheetu! Jimmy Sheetu!
He is having the fourth quarter of the year right now.
Up by one!
He is outplaying everybody on the floor, and he's not going to make the team.
But he'll have a job, though. He'll be on that G League squad. He'll have a job.
Gustavo said Luke Cornett has that Matt Peck workout plan. If Luke Cornett has spent the last 9 months sitting on his couch drinking beer and eating pizza, then yeah.
It looks like it.
That's the American workout plan, sir. I'm going to credit Matt with that. That's an
Guys,
American
are we going to come back? Are we?
No, like I really.
We've already done it.
Are we going to see overtime?
I really commit to it.
Are we going to get over?
Pat said, I shitty you not.
Oh.
I'll give that a golf clap.
I don't hate it. I don't hate it at all. Wow, man. This is awesome. You kind of felt it coming, and it just needed to be one guy, and I'm glad it was him.
Fun. I hope he won.
I don't think that this random comeback in garbage time of the last preseason game where all of these guys are G Leaguers and end of bench is going to change how I feel about overall what this game was, but
right. It's just fun this is just fun.
Look at that fourth quarter, 31 to 11.
1 to 11. The Luke Cornett game. Oh, Lucas.
God.
Too bad he doesn't have the fisherman beard.
He's
like
got a
Matt.
farmer stand though.
Is that what
got the sleeve tattoo? Yeah, or the sleeve tan. It's a farmer stand.
I like that. I've never heard that. That's dope. Ooh,
dude, that was this preteen Pokashevsky. Like what?
Yeah, man.
Where did this kid come from?
He has Marfan syndrome.
I don't know.
No, Brian
Cornett.
During the draft, he got drafted right before the Mavericks. And Karen took one look of his body and said, he is going to die. she was opinion. And she does joints and orthopedics and stuff. And she was like, he should not play basketball. He should sit in a chair. And then she was watching the first. She was watching the first half, sick on the couch, and she was like, "Look at his arms. They're doing."
Look at the arm! Oh, you gotta make that. You gotta make that put back.
Yeah, man. You gotta put that in. It's right there. It's all right. D up. Nice switch. Oh, Oh,
Steal from normal. Euro step. Hutch, baby.
The comeback.
Wow, Hutch.
You're down. Oh, that ain't a foul. Oh, my God. You calling a foul.
That's not a foul.
No, it is not. Look at them, all interior. Look at these replays.
Woo.
Just all interior. Just using his size, getting rebounds, and making plays.
Damn. God. The English on that little up and under on that last replay. That was sexy.
He's better than Makokata.
Yeah. How dare you?
Where's that guy?
Come on, pretty mama. Makoka?
God, I want that. That's such a cool name. It's like they were like, yo, we can afford 5 letters for the whole name.
That. Taking the time out, up by 1, 17 seconds left, as opposed to down 30 with 17 seconds left.
Wow, it's impressive.
Is the game Tuesday at 7?
Wednesday.
Oh, Wednesday. You're right. Dang it.
And home opener, so I'm assuming 7 o'clock. Let me just double check the calendar. Yep, 7 o'clock.
Dude, the season is next week.
So we're going to have to do the post game real quick next Wednesday.
Okay.
I got to watch Mavs Suns on ESPN.
Oh, wait. I thought you had this. Wait a minute.
I thought I was like, I have to open presents with my family.
That's what I thought.
My college roommate's from Phoenix. I got to make fun of all his jackass sons.
I don't think you'll miss out on that. What time's their game?
It'll start at 10. We'll be golden. Also, I can have it on.
So we can wrap up our post game right around 10, and you will just have missed the first quarter.
And let's be honest, I'll have it on during.
Yes, he will. Let's be real.
Weston just said, "Wait a minute, I don't donate for Sabine to bail on us here."
You know what, Weston? I'm not going to bail.
Yeah.
I'm gonna half-ass it. That Weston is a killer. Dude, Weston is the podfather.
Yeah, man.
Truly.
That was a left hook.
And Ryan, I agree. Hutch, Levine, and Lowry. Lowry are the right spots, I think, too. I would include Lowry in that.
Arch, if we lose this game, rebound. Take it from him. How did he miss that? Wow, that was exciting.
Oh my God.
That was exciting. Looks like it's going to be Bulls ball.
Oh my God. How did Arch miss that? He's unplayable.
I think Donovan knows it.
How do you miss this? Look at this. That's the layup.
He's good for that spurt. You know what I'm saying? That little charge. That's it.
A spurt, or if you're Jim Boylan, 35 minutes.
Nope. He's dead. Don't make me do this to you early.
Also, we'll produce saying that you need to do that for Jim Boylan, and you're like, that's the whole reason I have it. Like, it'd be a good idea to do it for this, and you're like, that's the only reason I have this. Now, what do we say?
It's
my favorite. I do not know. I was a theater and dance major. Peck. So every year, the winner of our fantasy basketball league for the last year gets to pick the theme, and it's musical theater names. And so I'm gonna. I need.
Wait, like names of shows or names of characters from? No, shows?
So it's like. So I'm thinking of Give My Regards to Hardaway. Trent.
Nice.
Stuff like that. So I'm gonna think about it, and I'll send you the tweet. I might need your expertise on this. So it's NBA. You have to make it like NBA and music. It's like perfect.
I got you.
Yeah, there was one that was like, I got one. Jesus Christ, Luca Star. I'm probably gonna go with that if I'm being honest.
Pretty good.
Wait, how funny was that Brunson jersey?
What?
Well, I
So
didn't
I
see
sent you the tweet.
What you
So
talking about?
Brunson's an Eagles fan, and Luca's now a Cowboys fan because he doesn't know any better. And they had a bet, and the bet the loser had to wear a jersey picked by the other person.
Oh!
Hold on.
Oh my God! Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh!
Oh, wow.
Oh my gosh! Oh wow!
Oh, my goodness.
Wow! 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 Oh, the Luke Cornett long arm of the
Oh my God!
goodness!
Damn, that was close. I thought that was going in.
Twice.
Woo!
I thought that was going in.
I did too. Wow, man!
How did that not go in?
Ooh, Ryan says weak side story. That's a good one.
That's a really good one. Oh my God! I gotta write this down. Weak side story. Hassan Whiteside story. That could be one too.
Hassan Whiteside. I like that.
Oh my God, these are so good.
Whew.
Really?
Gustavo said great defense by Cornett. Yeah, that's what he's known for, baby.
Right.
Luke Cornett, contested shots.
Is Hutch the only playable person that was out there?
Yeah, pretty much.
Who's he talking to? Who's that?
Is that Mark
that's what I was
Everson?
wondering. He's not that big.
Mark Everson's there.
Will Perdue is in. Brody Perdue.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in to the Bulls Outcasts.
Oh, is that what it is now?
That's John. That's Big Dave. That's Will Perdue over there.
Is it the Outcast now?
Yes, it is Will and them.
Compliments of one of our viewers, Weston, who came up with that brilliant name on Wednesday night.
Yes.
It has a double meaning, because we were cast out by NBC.
And podcasts.
Yes, and this show cast. So yes.
Very nice. So what happened?
Very nice.
What happened at the end? I turned it off.
Very nice.
We won, Will.
Well, I saw that, but
They got a last-second shot, and it hit backboard. It went around the rim, in and out 2.5 times, and then popped out.
Hey, John, the book of marketing.
God, these are good. Damn.
I like it.
Book of marketing is really good.
All right, so Will, is your first takeaway from this game also going to be Chandler Hutchison again? Because I'm not going to lie, he had some good moments tonight.
Quite honestly, my takeaway from this particular game was poor shot selection.
Ooh, go on.
So, is that licorice or is that just the cord to your earphones?
It's the cord. It keeps making sound, so I got to hold it up. But I put it in my mouth.
Well, here I'll just, for example, and I know this is some people would be like, man, you're getting picky, but this is what's going to take this team to the next level. These little things, because we know how talented they are. But I hit up a thing and said shot selection. We talked about this after Game 3 as well. The timing. So the Bulls were up 18-17 with about 6 minutes to go. Zach comes down, mid-range jumper off a Wendell Carter screen, 2017. Pete Will comes down quickly, misses. No big deal. Oklahoma City goes and misses. Wendell Carter Jr. comes down, hits a jumper from about the free throw line extended, 22-17. Zach comes down, just jacks up a quick three, barely draws iron. All right. Then they come down. Oklahoma City comes down. They don't score. Zach gets that dunk because he doesn't get back on defense, 24-17. And then Oklahoma City comes down. They score. And then Lowry takes a bad three. And then Oklahoma City comes down and hits a three. And Billy calls timeout, 24-22. Now, I know people were like, well, what's the big deal? 2 bad shots. But, you had a nice little run going. Oklahoma City was scrambling. They were taking some bad shots, but you responded to their bad shots with quick bad shots early in the shot clock. And that's what I was talking about with Kobe and these guys. Show the discipline offensively where come on down, you don't have anything, pull the ball out and set the offense up. And my biggest takeaway from all this that bothers me, there's nobody running in the post. They got 5 guys running the perimeter. The middle of the floor is wide open. If Lowry would run down the middle of the floor and just collapse the defense, I mean, even Wendell Carter Jr. now is running to the wing. And a couple times, I mean, it almost looked like Kobe stopped and was like, wait a minute. Like he had to hesitate for a second to find all 5 guys because Lowry was on the right wing. Wendell was on the left wing. Zach was in the corner. I forgot who else was in the game, was kind of on the top right. He was on the left side. And I was like, if Lowry, I watched him get to the free throw line. And I was like, if he just keeps going, man, they could throw it right over the top and he could get a nice layup. But then he flares out to the wing instead of going down to the baseline and then turning around and you hear the term running to the block, but you run to the front of the rim. And if there's a defender there, you just bury him and then you call for the ball. The one thing that Kobe has proven, even though he loves to score, is that he's a willing passer. And when you struggle and then you try to hit home runs with threes, that's how you let a team back into the game instead of just choking the life out of them, is what Johnny Bach used to say. Pull it out, run some plays. And then what did we see in the early part of the third quarter? Or when did I see this? Late in the first. Wendell, they got him the ball in the mid-post, and he kind of got his man to the middle, spun baseline, and shot that little left-handed hook. We shouldn't have to call that stuff. Those guys should be smart enough to do that kind of stuff when they know that the offense is struggling a little bit and sputtering to score points. But that's going to be about maturation. That's learning the offense. That's just that's something that's going to take time. And the one thing I was a little upset early on, but I was just like, a game like tonight, we're probably going to see that a lot during the season because of the inconsistency of this team with their defense and their offense and everything that's being thrown at them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that jumped out to me after the Bulls got off to a really efficient start in the first 7 or 8 minutes of that first quarter, and you love to see the fact that Lowry and Wendell, who have really struggled in preseason, were the ones to get the Bulls offense going. Kobe White has been, that microwave, just automatic offense, in addition to what we saw in his rookie year, facilitating as well. He was bit by the turnover bug a little bit more tonight, and he just couldn't get it going. He couldn't finish. He was 1 of 10 from the field tonight. And if he is not that automatic second scorer alongside Zach, who did look automatic tonight, after that first 7 or 8 efficient minutes where I think Donovan was intentionally getting Lowry and Wendell some looks early on, the ball movement and the player movement off the ball just really stagnated at the tail end of that first quarter and never really got going again.
Honestly, they looked tired because initially, we're trying to think of stuff to get ready to prepare for the preseason show on Monday. And I wrote down early on, Zach was doing a nice job with his individual defense, trying to get through screens, trying to stay in front of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, contesting shots. But that energy and that commitment kind of waned as the game went on. And then I wrote down, good initial defensive effort. But then I wrote, Tom Thibodeau, it's not the first, second, or third effort. It's the 4th, 5th, and 6th effort that help you style a defense.
Right.
And he was exactly right. You saw that first initial, and then the guy would pass, and then guys were like, whew, my man passed the ball away. And then all of a sudden something would happen on the other end, and they'd have to scramble to try to help, and then they were late. Now, I know it's only a preseason game, but I think that, this is kind of what we're going to see throughout the season. They're going to play a game like they did against Game 3, and we're going to be excited. And then a game 2 nights later, or maybe the second game of a back-to-back, we're going to see something like this, and we're like, damn. It's like Bruce Springsteen, man. 2 steps forward, 1 step back. And that's why I heard Stacey say, hey, baby, I got postseason aspirations about this team. They're going to the playoffs. I just think.
Wait. That's your Stacey King?
What is the Stacey impression?
What is that? When did Stacey become a pimp? What is that?
Stacey King to Stuart Smalley.
I was just like, listen, man.
But
I think there's going to be too many games like we saw tonight, and especially I was doing stuff. I mean, think about this.
I heard the same when he said the playoff thing. I thought the exact same thing for the record. I was like, "Whoa!"
So let's go in no specific order, but let's just say Milwaukee,
they're good.
Brooklyn,
They're very good.
Boston, Toronto, Miami.
They're better. They're better.
Indiana,
Atlanta.
That's 7 right there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Then you have Washington.
I think Washington's improved. I don't know if they're better.
They have more talent than us.
But they're number one. They're number one and two guy are better than
Westbrook and Beal together in a backcourt.
That's my point. Their number 1 and 2 guy are better than our number 1 and 2 guy.
They have the top 2 most talented players on the court.
Because here's the other thing: we know who our number 1 guy is. We don't know who our number 2 guy is yet. But that's 8 right there. That's 8. Okay. So then you know what we're forgetting about? Orlando was a playoff team. They're still better to me than the Bulls. That's 9.
They suck.
Charlotte, they're much better. You could say that's kind of a pick 'em.
Gordon Hayward.
I mean, I've said, like, basically after all the free agency stuff ended and the rosters of these teams were set, the only teams in the East that I confidently know the Bulls will be better than are Detroit and New York. And and Cleveland. Like that,
you're right. So what does that mean? That means that we're 11th. So we got to scrap just to try to possibly get into that 10th seed, possibly. And I don't even know. Hey, if Griffin stays healthy in Detroit, you never know.
He'll be traded though, don't you think?
Mm-hmm. Possibly. You know who looked like a really good trade prospect for a contender tonight? Hill. The way he played, he looked like And here's something else I wrote down. Kobe learned a little something tonight. Veteran players, they got memories, baby. They play with pride. Mm-hmm. I can promise you that George Hill and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander talked about that 18 points he scored in the third quarter of the last game. They took advantage of him tonight. They went at him tonight. They exposed him on the defensive end. I mean, George Hill was like, okay. George Hill did not play, but George Hill said, hold on, young fella. I know you're explosive. I know you can shoot the 3, but let me show you a few things tonight. And he did just that. And also you saw Shai realize that, hey, this guy's good, but I'm bigger than him. I'm better than him right now, and I'm going to show him that. And any time that Kobe got matched on either one of those guys, they pretty much just put it on the deck and went right at him. So, hey, listen, it's only his second year. He's going to learn. But this is where we talked about this last year. When this team goes on a dry spell and they refuse to dump the ball into the post and continue to shoot quick perimeter jump shots, okay, maybe that's what Billy wants, and Billy's okay with that. But if that's the case, you got to really improve on your defense then. Because if you can allow a team like Oklahoma City to go up 19 on you and stretch out a lead, what do you think is going to happen with an explosive team like Atlanta or Brooklyn or Toronto or Milwaukee or Miami?
It's going to guard anyone on New Jersey for us. Ugh.
And I mean, the Thunder just mailed it in the fourth quarter as they just gave up that game because it didn't matter. So their percentages came down a little bit. They finished 41% from the field, just not quite 40% from behind the 3-point line, 15 of 38 there. But earlier on, before that fourth quarter, those numbers were a lot higher. OKC's percentages were really, really strong tonight. John, we talked about how the Bulls' defensive effort in their first game against Houston was awful. They brought it back up a little bit in their second Houston game. Their game Wednesday against OKC, there were bits and pieces of solid defense and some lapses. Tonight, the defense just looked other than a couple of individual efforts from Zach LaVine, of all people, the defense looked bad. John, how concerned are you that this Bulls team, while we're gearing up for an exciting offense, might have some serious problems?
I'm very worried because I think when you have two guards that are below average defensively, traditionally, or not freak athletes, you need to have a solid rim protector. You need to have a fail safe for when they get by you. And right now, again, the only starter that hasn't showed out is Wendell Carter. Why not try Gafford? Why not try it? Right now, Wendell's trying to get his shots in with other people who are trying to get their shots in.
Okay, now hold on. I will contradict that. I thought Wendell played nice tonight because
he played nice.
Let's look at the first half numbers. He did not shoot the ball well, but he had 4 assists in the first half because that's what he's trying to make him a facilitator at the top of the key. But I kept yelling at the TV tonight. In the second half, I was kind of I was eating a salad and watching the game and kind of like, okay, how long before the post-game show?
What kind of salad?
Yeah.
He was waiting for us.
I just go straight spinach with cottage cheese for protein and a little Catalina dressing, and that's it.
Ooh, Catalina wine mixer.
Okay. Catalina wine mixer.
Fucking Catalina salad dressing.
But literally, every time Lowry took a three-pointer, I was like, stop it. Because he hit a few. But
he hit 3 in the first half.
But he took 12 total shots in the first half. 8 of them were threes. Yeah, he hit 3 of them. But you know when he was most effective? When he was putting the ball on the deck, attacking the basket.
I agree with that. I don't think he's a good shooter. I think he's
because of his length.
I agree with you on that.
They couldn't stop him. And you know what else he was doing? He was dropping the shoulder, getting into the chest of the defender, so they couldn't really get up and try to block the shot. And I was like, why is he not doing that more? You saw the double screen play where Kobe brought it down. Zach actually went and set the screen for Lowry because Kobe threw it to Wendell. Kobe threw it to Wendell, who then threw it back to Kobe. Zach went and set the screen for Lowry came off. I'm sorry, Wendell had it. They did like a dribble weave. Lowry grabbed it, turned the corner, went to the cup, and finished with the left hand. And then I also like in the second half, they did the same thing again, and Lowry came off. This time the defense wouldn't help, and he dropped the ball down to Wendell, who I thought it was a three-point play, but they waved it off. But I think more of that to get Lowry involved, to get him engaged, to be like, hey, big fella, we're putting the ball in your hands for a reason. That's not just to jack up quick threes. We need you to create on the offensive end of the floor as well. Take some pressure off Kobe. Take some pressure off Zach. Be a creator as well. Don't just be a guy that's like, oh, you're giving it to me. That means I got to shoot it. Put it on the deck and get to the cup. Because, Wendell, 4 threes, goose egg. But, 4 rebounds, 4 assists. That's okay. He was doing a much better job facilitating. But I also didn't like, where did I put it? At the end of the third quarter, the Bulls only had 8 free throws. 6 of 8.
I know. That's bad.
Yeah.
So
those refs were bad tonight.
No, they weren't.
They weren't good.
But you were, quite honestly, offensively, you weren't putting any pressure on the officials to make calls. You were floating around in the perimeter. I mean, and this is what I was talking about shot selection-wise. I know you guys, you talk about this, but, I thought Zach was trying to do the right thing, but I thought he forced a lot of the action with some of the shots that he took. And I know that's being very picky, but, to see this team take the next step, these little things are the things that they're going to have to improve. But most notably, you learn these things in the film room. And it just doesn't take watching it one time and I got it. It's time and time and time and time again. And this is the stuff you got to take home with you. You got to watch on your computer, your iPad. You got to keep going over it. It's just like, as I tell my son, man, it's just like math homework. It's just like spelling. It's repetition, and not going to the gym and getting up 1,000 jumpers. I got to watch that play over and over and over and over. And then let's talk to the coaches about it and let's work on it. But it's a young team. They'll figure it out. But I think it's going to be another roller coaster ride. But unlike last year where the roller coaster felt like it was going backwards, at least this year the roller coaster is going forwards and we can see where we're going.
Yeah. I mean, I think tonight is a great example of, like, I agree with you, Will. There were some moments tonight where I thought Zach forced things a little bit, but I also tonight got more examples, like we got in the first 3 preseason games, of Zach just like completely letting the game flow through him. And when Zach was catching and shooting, either behind the 3-point line or a couple of times coming off a little curl screen, knocking down a mid-range shot, like Jim's rolling over in his grave because he took some mid-range shots tonight. I don't fucking care. Zach like it looks like effortless for Zach, and Dave's gonna fucking zap me because I mentioned Jim.
Just warning.
I'm not worried about Zach so much. I was more the people we were most worried about coming into tonight's final preseason game were Lowry and Wendell. And yes, Will, it's frustrating to continue to see Wendell huck these threes and miss them, while we all are trying to tell ourselves it's for the greater good of developing that
1 for 16.
Yeah, it's bad. It's bad. But like there were other elements to Wendell's game. Will, you mentioned some of his playmaking tonight. Big Dave, that one Wendell to Lowry lob in particular, I think it was in the third quarter. Like, that was another small example of what we had talked about earlier of, yes, we're all hyped about the Kobe-Zach backcourt and how great they look offensively, but we need Lowry and Wendell to bring theirs and let them play some two-man game at some point when the opportunity presents itself, because that's the second Lowry to Wendell lob or vice versa that we've seen in preseason now, Dave.
Yeah, we're going to need them to get that cohesiveness, because they're going to have to take over, because we talked about that second score when Kobe White goes cold. And it shouldn't always be on Zach and Kobe, to carry the team. Laurie is the one we're looking at. And Laurie had a really good game tonight offensively, I thought. I know he took a lot of threes, Will, but he had a good game offensively. And when he decided to go to the cup, he went there with force and he went there with some real fire and power that we haven't seen this entire preseason. So I just think he's just continuing to learn and continuing to get comfortable. I keep equating it, Billy Donovan, to a good stepdad after your last stepdad was trash and, kept locking you in the room and wouldn't feed you dinner. So when your other stepdad tells you it's okay to come out the room, you're still going to be like this. You're still like, I'm a little worried that he's going to hit me again.
It's like Harry Potter going from Mr. Dursley to Mr. Weasley as far as like the quality of stepfather.
I don't watch Harry Potter, so I'll just agree with you on that, sir. Yes. I do not watch Harry. I've seen one Harry Potter movie. One. I'm on Lord of the Rings right now. I'm rewatching that right now.
Fun fact, Will Perdue played Hagrid in the movies.
But I will say Wendell Carter Jr., like, their chemistry really has to grow, because I haven't seen Wendell Carter Jr. do something that makes me say he has to be the starting center of this team. That's the only thing I haven't seen it. He's done some nice things, the assists that you mentioned, the rebounds, but it's like 4.6 rebounds, 6 assists, or 6 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists. But he's not doing anything that I'm like, oh man, he's got to be out there. He's not doing anything that makes me say, why can't I see what Gafford can do?
But I'm still going to tell you. I mean, I believe that Wendell's better than Gafford. He hasn't shown out like we had hoped, because he's talking about just because when Billy talked about this, his shots are good. One of the things that Wendell had, I got it saved somewhere. He was like, just keep an eye on things. I'll show you. But I haven't seen anything that showed me he's taken the next step. My biggest concern is that we already know who Wendell Carter Jr. is. He's a guy that's going to give you 8 to 10 points a night. I'm talking about averages.
Ooh.
His averages will be 8 to 10 points a night and 8 to 10 rebounds a night.
Great.
Now, he's going to have a game where he's going to give you 20 and 12. But then he's going to have a game where he's, going to shoot too many threes. He's going to go, 3 for 12 from the field, and 6 of those shots are going to be threes. I think that he's still trying to find his footing. He's still trying to determine who he is. I think he's spending too much time trying to show what he can do instead of just saying, this is what I am and this is what I know I can do, instead of trying to prove the rest of us wrong.
Will, his ceiling is PJ Brown. That's his ceiling.
Ooh.
He's a PJ Brown guy. And PJ Brown became a champion. He's a backup.
He's not a starter.
And he's solid. He's a guy who's solid on the right team.
I wouldn't have mind have made PJ Brown's money.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. But
that's a fact.
He is PJ Brown.
That's true.
He's a guy that comes in a second unit who's going to lead you and be a good locker room guy later on in his career.
But
he's just not a veteran yet.
Here's the problem with us thinking that this team wants to take a huge leap. Okay?
Talent.
They have talent. But you're basically asking every single player Kobe White, Zach LaVine, the rookie, Patrick Williams, Wendell Carter Jr., Lowry Marketing, Hutch, Thaddeus Young, Gafford, Sato, Otto. I just listed 10 people, 10 players,
Sato,
right?
Otto.
Okay. Of those 10, I can only sit here and guarantee what I'm going to get from 3 guys, maybe 4 guys. We know who Zach is, but he's got to make a significant improvement on the defensive end. We know who Sato is as a veteran. We know who Otto is, and we know who Thaddeus Young is. But for this team to really make a huge jump, we got to have huge jumps by Kobe, P. Will, Carter, Lowry, Gafford, Hutch. You're telling me we're going to get all those guys to make a significant leap for us to become a playoff team? That's asking way too much.
We saw them all make a significant decline last year. So I know they can do that. So I don't think it's crazy out of the realm to think that they can just get back to the average that we saw. And you touched on Hutch because I wanted to ask you about him. He was one of my questions coming into this preseason because I didn't know what he was going to be, and I really didn't know what his role and what he did well. But he's showing me now, like as far as a scorer and a defender and a rebounder and a guy that could really stretch the floor and be a problem with his length. How impressed?
I talked about it when we talked about after Game 3. You guys are like, "Hey, what stuck out?" I said Hutch, and you guys went, "What? That's the first thing on your list?" So as soon as I come on today, you're like, "Well, what'd you think about Hutch? I thought he played well tonight." Well, you know what he did tonight? He knocked down 2 threes. But again, 14 minutes, 8 points, 3 rebounds, 2 steals. How about the hustle play where everybody else basically stopped? He went out and got that ball and got it back into play, and Kobe picked it up and got fouled. That was because of him. Mm-hmm. Everybody else turned and going the other direction.
Yeah.
Dave, you know who would have loved that effort play from Hutch? You know who would have loved that effort play? Diving out of bounds like that?
You know who played better than Hutch? Shih Tzu, whatever his name is.
Oh, yeah.
He outplayed everyone in the fourth.
All right, here, let's do this last before we could be here all night.
He played better than anyone in the fourth.
So I hope you don't mind me doing this. Before we get off, let's imagine we're 4 coaches now.
Oh, okay.
Because this is what's going to happen right now.
Coach Carter.
They've played their 4 preseason games. They're taking the day off tomorrow. They're going to adjourn again on Sunday, but the coaches are going to be sitting down in a group talking about, all right, guys, we got to work on our rotation. So let's not even talk about the guys that are hurt. I don't know what's going on with Sato is because that's one of the things I learned is that the league is using the term personal reasons instead of saying COVID. Whether they actually have COVID, whether they're actually being held back for tracing purposes. Right, but they don't have to say that. Tracing, they want to eliminate that from. So I'm going to include Sato because he actually played a game. But let's just talk about the guys that have played, because we know when Thad Young gets healthy, he will play. Period. But I think let's talk as a coaching staff, and we all have equal weight. I'm going to sit here and say, okay, does anybody disagree with Kobe White, Zach LaVine, Patrick Williams, Wendell Carter Jr., and Lowry as the starting lineup?
Yes.
On Wednesday.
100%.
John, you disagree with that?
I disagree.
I don't think Wendell should start at all.
Okay, so who do you guys think Gafford should start?
Yes, or you start Otto and Patrick Williams. You just go small ball, and you just, because if you're not going to have rim protection, at least.
And you start Lowry at the 5?
At least I know what's happening there, as opposed to Wendell. Sure, he got 6 assists in the game. Congratulations. Wendell Carter is the smallest center in the freaking league, and he can't jump. Why do we start him?
Yeah. It's going to be an issue. At least with Gafford, I know exactly what I'm going to get. And I know what his role is going to be on both sides of the floor. And I think that's good for the players that are going to be.
To be clear, this isn't about talent. This is about fit.
Right. But
Wendell's better.
Point to you is though that's why I like him. That's why I like Gafford so much coming off the bench, because I think that it's those intangibles that he provides that lifts up that second unit. That's why I like him coming off the bench more so than
the first unit.
Than I like him starting.
Embarrassment of riches where we don't. The first unit needs some lifting up. We're not that good. Like we need a rim protector.
But if you're going to see this thing change, I think you're going to see this thing. This is going to be like like guys on roller skates. I think you're going to constantly see changes in the lineup. I don't think there's a set lineup, but I'm just saying for the game against Atlanta, I think this is where we start.
I agree.
Okay?
I agree that's what's going to happen.
Okay.
And I talk about for the second unit, I think Sato's your point guard, Hutch at 2, Otto at 3, Thad, if he's healthy, at 4, and Gafford at 5. Now, they're not going to play 10 guys. But, I think that, you're going to have – I don't know what the situation is with Garrett Temple. I mean, when is he going to be back?
Well, it's Hanukkah. It's not
Right. He's been quarantining for like 4 weeks now.
Maybe we should ask who he's quarantining with. I don't know.
Sato.
Hey-o.
More like Borantine.
Do you see Temple, if healthy and available post-COVID, being ahead of, say, a eventually healthy Denzel in this rotation, Will?
Wow. Spider-Man.
I do
Spider-Man.
too.
That's – I hate to say it, but that was their big offseason signing. And it was, to me, it was more so for his leadership and his experience but it's also, as you guys talked about, he's one of those guys I think can help both the starting unit and the second unit as far as just kind of, be somebody that these guys can lean on because he's been around long enough where it's like, is he dynamic? No. Is he explosive? No. But he's consistent and he's reliable.
What experience does he have?
He's been in the league 11 years, hasn't he?
Oh, that's meaningful. Like, what's like was he on like some playoff team that made a deep run?
No, but he's also, when you start doing your research around the league, everybody talks about how great of a teammate he is, how supportive he is, how he, it's just his positive attitude, how he makes it.
I hate that though. Don't you hate that though? Don't you hate it when that's the thing they say? Like,
John, this team isn't looking for playoff experience vets right now. We're just looking for competent, has been in the league for a while.
This guy hasn't gotten fired. Not that he's been promoted or anything.
Listen, there's plenty of guys in the league. I mean, I know plenty of guys in the league that have played 12, 13 years that have played for 8 teams. And you scratch your head and you go, why? Because everywhere they've been, they've had a positive impact. They've been a nice player. They've been decent. It's not like they sucked and you're like, gotta go.
Yeah. Bradley Beal called Garrett Temple the best teammate he's ever played with. So that's where I kind of, I'm holding my because he hasn't, he unfortunately hasn't practiced, hadn't played. So I want to wait and see. But I feel like they brought him in. I don't think any promises were made whatsoever. Like another coach made promises to players. I think they just said, hey, if you'd want to come here, we'd like to have you, but we're not going to make any promises.
He weirdly adds depth too because he takes away that Luke Cornett arch minutes. Like he weirdly adds like having his presence makes it so like we actually have a bench if we have Otto coming off the bench, and Gafford, and if Sato can go back to what his old days, his 2 seasons ago days, that's an actual bench. We don't have to rely on the Arches or the Cornets or the Felicios.
So
and that's huge.
All right, Will, before we let you go, looking ahead to the season opener next week, the Bulls host the Atlanta Hawks, which are now the Chris Dunn Atlanta Hawks. Just kidding. I'm pretty sure he was on their first injury report at the start of training camp. But, Will, when you're looking at Trae Young and the explosive offensive talent that young kid has, and the fact that Chris Dunn, when the Bulls and Hawks squared off so many times over the last couple of years, was the Trae Young stopper for the Bulls. What are your keys to Kobe White, Zach LaVine, whoever it might be in that Bulls backcourt, trying to contain Trae Young leading that Atlanta offense?
I swear to you guys, I thought about tonight as I'm watching this game, and I'm like, you know what? That game against the Hawks could be like 135, 128.
Oh yeah, if not more.
Because hey, I know you're talking about Trae Young, right?
Great.
And this is just where the team defense really has to step up. And I mean, I can't. I'm not going to sit here and say Zach, Kobe, whoever off the bench. Nobody can stop that guy. This is going to be about team defense. And what have we seen the Bulls have problems with? We saw it against Washington in Game 1, and we saw it today in Game 4 against Oklahoma City. Getting out to three-point shooters, actually contesting shots. All right, because I know you're talking about Trae Young, but think about this lineup. Trae Young, even though Kevin Huerter starts,
Hooter, baby.
replace him with Bogdanovich. Then you have Clint Capella. Let's go small and replace him. Puts John Collins to the 5. That shot 40% from 3 last year.
And he's not doing drugs anymore.
Put down Gallinari, who's 6'10" at 3.
Gallinari's so good.
You have DeAndre Hunter.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, my God, how are we going to stop this team? How are we going to slow this team down? I mean, you have – I made a bold prediction today when I was doing some I think Trae Young will lead the league in assists this year.
Ooh.
He was second the last 2 years at 9
it.
assists a game. Second his rookie year, second last year.
He wasn't second last year, was he?
Yeah,
I don't think he was.
He was first in the Eastern Conference, but he was second in the league.
Wow.
All right, and
Impressive.
it's just
John's face.
I mean, and think about this. Remember how effective Clint Capella was with James Harden?
You're right. God damn it.
What about him running the screen roll with Trae Young? And then let's hold
those
on.
stats don't count. They weren't in the bubble.
As long as John Collins stays off the juice or whatever he's on, he's going to give you 22, 10, and shoot 58% from the floor and knock down 40% of his threes.
He's so good. He's so big. He's so good and big.
And here's the other thing. It just keeps getting worse, man.
This is
only
hashtag it gets
Atlanta.
worse needs to trend on Bulls Twitter.
Rondo's, who do you think's going to be meeting Trae Young at half court during every timeout? Rondo. Basically just breaking it down for him, explaining it to him.
He's getting sued.
And all of a sudden, this could be even though he averaged 29 last year, I could see Trae Young, because of Rondo being a part of the less is more school. And all of a sudden, he's no longer talked about as just an incredible shooter and scorer. All of a sudden, they're like, hey, this guy's a different player. And here's the other thing that scares the crap out of me. In the 2 games against Orlando, they picked up 61 rebounds in both games. This team crashes.
They're big. They're weirdly big.
Oh, God. I don't know. And listen, it's a team much like the Bulls. They're trying to learn a lot on the fly, but you're like, where's the weakness?
Yeah. But I mean, wasn't it said about them last year though? Like I remember these conversations last year, and we were better than them record-wise.
They have 9 new players.
So they're going to all just gel in game 1
they are.
after 4 preseason.
But the one thing they do have, in my opinion, is whether Dunn plays or not, they also have another guy that I think is a solid defender, and that's Cam Reddish.
He's good.
So you basically have 2 guys, in my opinion. If late game situation, you could put Dunn and Cam Reddish out on the floor. Now you got your perimeter defender set. And then you got Capella protecting the rim. And then you could throw Huerter out there. You could take Trae Young off the floor because he's a deficiency. He hurts you on defense. But then DeAndre Hunter, I really like him as a defender.
I do too.
So that's the other thing. If you get in a late game situation and it's a close game, you taking the Bulls defense, or are you taking? I'm not saying that the Hawks defense as a whole is better, but are you taking the individuals on the Bulls defense or the individuals on the Hawks defense?
I mean, if they're putting Chris Dunn out there late in the 4th quarter, then on the Bulls defensive end, the Bulls just double team the most lethal scorer they have and leave Chris Dunn wide open. That's the game plan.
He's not a basketball player.
I like how you have a brain.
Soccer midfielder.
But I also have a feeling that one of the three of you might be, why are you running to that guy? He can't shoot. Somebody accidentally rotates and then they realize I just ran to Chris Dunn. Oh, crap.
I know him. I think he might be. I love Perdue. Can we just set this in stone? I love the Trae Young assist. Let's call it right now. He's going to lead the league in assists. I love this. Because he actually has people who can finish now. And that's like half of what assists are.
Well, here's the other thing. We're talking about all this stuff. I mentioned Hoarder real quickly. But when you look at his numbers, man, he scored almost 13 a game, almost 4 assists a game. And you're like, who? What?
He's not Hoarder. He doesn't like not throw things out. He's Hooter, right? I know, but what, Hoarder?
Bad dad joke, John.
He's not on TLC.
Hey,
I mean, fellas,
am I right?
Big gulps.
John, can you do me a favor?
No, it's too late. Yes, I'll do it.
No. Before I go, I need you to do me a favor.
Yes, sir.
This is big.
Okay.
Because you're a Second City guy, correct?
Yes, I was. Yes.
Okay.
Now let's get started by letting me give you a little bit of a scenario of what my life is all about. First off, I am 35 years old. I am divorced, and I live in a van down by the river.
Can you give me your best motivational speaker impersonation?
I can give you the best Phil Hartman with we've always encouraged Brian's writing.
Oh yeah. I mean, crap.
Dan,
we've always encouraged Brian's writing. I just think it's the funniest thing. That is, and he did that at Second City. That was one of the few characters that was a Second City character first that went to SNL, which yes. Bob Odenkirk, who's now John Wick, apparently.
Yeah. He did a great part. I know, right? But the best part was seeing everybody literally trying their best just to not bust out laughing.
And the fact that,
what was yeah, how about she put her hair in front of her face so people couldn't see her laughing?
And she's like 20 there. And then 20 years later, she does Anchorman. You're like, oh, yeah, she's really good at comedy.
I heard you're not using that paper for writing, but for rolling doobies.
He died this day, Will, right?
We're celebrating that.
He is. How old was he?
Celebrating his life. All of my poll tweets tonight were Chris Farley gifts. Every single one.
God damn. Jesus.
He died when he was 33.
And Jesus.
Yeah.
Just like John Belushi.
And Jesus. He's right.
Yeah, you can fact check that one. I don't know. But I know
he would have had a Lost in Translation Oscar nominee movie if he didn't. He would have a dark, sad clown, drama.
Yeah.
What? Right before he died, he was getting ready to play Fatty Arbuckle, the silent movie actor, the heavyset silent movie actor, and it was going to be some of it was going to be funny, but it was going to be a serious biopic in a way. And I honestly thought if he had made it that far and made that movie, he would have at least been nominated for an Oscar. He's that
I think he murdered someone accidentally. So
all right, here we go.
Oh, Fatty Arbuckle.
Farley?
Hey, but wait, what was the movie where his dad owns auto parts? Tommy Boy, yeah. I mean,
Tommy Boy.
Yeah,
Sandusky, Ohio.
That was not a great movie, but he had so many one-liners and looks and the whole thing. It would leave you dying laughing.
That's my favorite Chris Farley movie, I think.
It's my favorite movie of all time, Will.
Because to me, Black Sheep is the lesser Tommy Boy.
Yeah.
Agreed. It is, definitely.
Because he had a studio deal and they made him make a second one, and the script was rushed and not good, and it was basically Tommy Boy with a slight alteration.
Well, I'm
and it
so
wasn't
glad
good.
I'm gonna go watch that skit because thank you. That brought so much joy to me. Thank you for sharing that.
But in that skit, there was the one part where he had to hesitate and regather himself because he almost started busting out laughing.
It's so.
Hey. All I know is that Lowry Markkinen got back on the right track tonight.
I disagree with that
That's
statement.
what I know.
He showed better. Okay, I still think that and this team is shooting too many damn threes.
The league is shooting too many damn threes. Like there's too much
music
happening now. Like
says the center from the 1990s.
I don't mind you shooting that many threes, but at the end of the day, you better make more than 28% of them if you're going to jack up 41 of them.
I agree. I will.
That's fair.
If Wendell Carter, let's figure out our stats if you take away Wendell Carter's threes.
But all right, this is the last thing I'll say, and John, you make a valid point. Okay, this is what the league's becoming.
I know,
perimeter-oriented league, but you still have to play to your strengths, not to what the league is becoming, but play to your strengths.
Agreed.
And I still think you have 3-point shooters and guys that are very streaky. But I still think, as Kendall and I would always have arguments with you guys about, you still got to find a way to work from inside out, not outside in. Because what we don't have is a Steph Curry. What we don't have is a Trae Young. We have guys that have potential to be that type of player, but we don't have those type of guys that, every time they shoot it, you think it's going in, regardless of where it's coming from.
But Will, I agree with you. This is why I want Gafford to play, because it's not just threes. It's shots at the rim. That is analytics. Analytics are these. It's not just threes. It's shots at the rim. And right now, Wendell doesn't give you that. And Gafford does.
But if you put Wendell in the post, you saw it tonight. He had a couple post moves where he had a little baby hooks. He had a nice little mid post where he faced it up. But then if they're not smart enough to figure that out, then that's where Billy has to jump up, tell Kobe to pull the ball out, then get in the half court and run the play and let them get some touches down into the paint.
Wendell, to your point, Will, Wendell was 0 of 4 behind the 3-point line tonight. He was 4 of 5.
One of those inside.
He did get some points inside. And I know you're sitting here saying, like, whoa, Lonnie freaking
a 16-foot jumper. Which I think I'll settle for that. I'll be happy with that shot all day.
I agree. You just don't want 10 of them. Like that's all it is.
If he makes 8 of them.
Well, yeah, but he's not going to. He's Wendell Carter. Wendell Carter has gotten so many excuses from so many people. It is insane.
Keep an eye on that. My 2 predictions.
I like
your Young's going to lead the league in assists, and Wendell is a 10 and 10 guy.
We appreciate you coming on, Will. I assume you're doing the home opener for NBC on Wednesday. All right. Well, the next time you're not doing a show for those guys and want to hang out with us again,
but tune in to NBC Sports to watch Will Perdue
back in.
The Outcasts. Hey,
the Outcasts. That's right. And you tell all those folks over at NBC that that's what we're called now.
Yeah, well, tell them we missed them too.
Tell them I saw stock car racing on their channel earlier today, and I was like, come on. Throw us a couple. Come on.
Hey, listen, you don't got to tell me. I've been pounding on about, hey, there's plenty of hours in the day where we could be doing live content. And then it's just the usual, we'll get back to you.
Stock car, I guarantee you were cheaper than the stock car rides.
Thank you for putting that suggestion in the suggestion box.
What did my dad used to tell me that was? File 13.
Damn, we have a special file cabinet.
Dad, what's file 13? The trash can.
Yeah. My pops used to say that too. The complaint department is closed.
Our last thing, I know we keep saying.
All right, Will.
I know we dealt in fashion last week, last game. Now I have a cooking tip for you.
Cottage cheese.
Oh,
my wife's over here listening, but it's actually one of her secrets to share with all your listeners, your viewers. My wife just said, "Don't give away my secrets." My wife makes the best chocolate chip cookies. She makes them from scratch.
Oh,
And oh, by the way, she said super secret recipe, but she also said the root beer cookies were the bomb. I think that was you, right, John? Was that was Big Dave?
That was Big Dave. I can't.
Hey, like I told you guys, when things open up and we get back to it, and we can actually break bread at the same table without being 6 feet apart, we'll all get together and at one of the restaurants. But she makes her cookies from scratch, right? And then what she'll do is after she makes it, then she packs it in and then puts it in the refrigerator for 24 hours. And then when she pulls it back out, she lets it get back to room temperature and then cooks the cookies, and it makes them crispy on the outside and chewy and doughy on the inside.
Oh.
Even after even like 2 days later, still nice and soft and chewy on the inside.
That sounds so.
Yeah, you sign me up for a box of those.
Fortunately, 2 of you don't have somebody to do that. Don't have ladies to do that. Maybe John can get his wife to do that for him.
Oh my gosh, she's the breadwinner. I'll be the one cooking. I ever was like, honey, can you cook? She's like, oh, I'm sorry, I was busy working and buying everything.
Hey, as long as you know your place, because in our family,
I know my
she
place.
Cooks,
so hard.
I clean. It's automatic. She cooks.
You gotta know your role.
We talk and open a bottle of wine, and then after dinner's over, I clean, and she takes her spot on the couch and keeps drinking her wine. And then eventually, once I've cleaned, and then I look around and make sure it's all golden, then I come join her and we watch a show.
Like any good team, you need to know your roles. Like Wendell's probably a bench player. Like that's all I'm saying.
Hey, Will, if you're ever feeling lost because you feel like cleaning, but your place is already clean, you can come over to my place anytime, man.
I folded laundry right before the Bulls game started.
It's fun. I like folding laundry. It's nice and warm.
You're such a grown-up.
Well, I mean, listen, I don't. Like I'm transparent. I am 55, so this is kind of how I regress a little bit. I hang out with you guys. I act like a kid. What'd you say, Dave?
That's so fun.
Well, so and I have a lot of fun. I mean, I got up this morning and I had my schedule out.
Well, hey,
and I write everything down because when you get to be my age, you forget more than you remember. And I didn't even have the Bulls game written down. I just had. Are we allowed to say outsiders?
Yeah.
I mean, you can, but we're on to the next, Will.
Let me scratch this out.
Yeah.
On with the Outcast after the game.
Yeah. Yes.
That's what I had written down. I didn't have Bulls game at 7. I had what was going on after the game.
That's right.
Ladies and gentlemen, you think about it, I mean, if I didn't enjoy myself, how long I've been on here now? Like 45 minutes?
A long time.
But I also think my wife is like, yes, that means he'll talk less when he gets off of here.
Will, I can't agree. I can't. That resonates so much with me. You have no idea.
Oh, I knew you would know where I was going.
Go have fun. Go. Start with a Bulls. Go.
Hey, I will say this though. After what you told us last week, I'm waiting for that hammer on the wall. Shut up in there.
Yeah, she took a bunch of. She's sick today, so I think she's asleep. But we'll see. We'll see.
All right, gentlemen.
Goodbye, Will.
All right, we'll talk to you.
Thank you, Will.
Anytime your wife gets sick of you, come hang out with us, okay?
Not with that attitude.
All right. Fair enough.
We'll see.
Will Perdue, ladies and gentlemen. The man in the middle.
4. He was the man at Vanderbilt.
I tell you what, I never tire of that.
Dude, if you were a shop teacher, he would have a ring for every finger.
Yo, it's so funny because my shop teacher definitely.
If you were a assistant or a shop teacher, he'd have a ring for a whole hand. Well, guys, I think He's amazing. This was so fun tonight, guys. Thank you. Thank you for watching, everyone.
Yeah.
I guess we have to wait until Wednesday now. So, but the good news is that on Wednesday, these are for real now.
Young.
They count.
Less than a week away, the Bulls play their first meaningful NBA game in damn near 10 months.
Yeah.
And it feels so good. It feels so good. I'm excited. We've seen plenty of good stuff to take away from this preseason. Lowry had a solid game tonight. That's all I'm going to be thinking about while I, rest my head on my little pillow, is that Lowry had a solid game tonight. John, I know that you're going to be going to bed having nightmares about Wendell Carter Jr.
No, I want him to succeed.
Get over
That's why
it.
I think he should be in a position to succeed. That's all I want.
Yeah, for real. I agree.
And the sweet life of Zach and Kobe is coming out hot.
I love it.
In that first game.
Guys.
Watching Patrick Williams, we're going to be looking for it, man.
Thank you so much, everybody, for hanging out with us tonight. Thank you to those of you who threw us some tips. We appreciate it as always. We are the Bulls Outcasts. That's right. Everybody have a great weekend. Maybe, Dave, do you want to hop on and do the Bears Sunday? We'll see. I don't know.
It's an important game.
I'm still mad at them.
I am too, but it's an important game.
It is. John, do you want to watch the Bears with us?
I don't even want to watch the Cowboys. Football is so boring. It's just nothing happens and everyone gets hurt. And then, a touchdown happens and someone did something.
All right, y'all. Thank you for hanging out with us. Appreciate it. Be sure to subscribe to that BAWL Sports YouTube channel so you can catch these episodes archived if you miss them. For John Sabine and Big Dave Watson, I'm Matt Peck. Thanks for watching the Bulls Outcasts preseason finale. We'll see you on Wednesday night. Bulls Hawks, baby! Good night.